Say the more we drink special amber, special amber, special amber. More we drink special amber, and the happier we shall be. Say the more we laugh together, together, together. More we talk together.
Yes, as you know, in the book I give a chapter on Jamaica and the conditions in Jamaica around the 1940s during the World War II years. At that time, the country suffered just like America did. They had farms. These men had small farms, and their livelihood depended on it. There was no work. There was no transportation for their food supplies to the market. They were just desperate for money to live, and so when the opportunity came for them to come to the United States to help to work on the tobacco farms, these men willingly came. So there was a recruitment process that occurred at that time, and it was, Jamaica has supplied a number of men on their various recruitment programs. As you know, the Panama Canal was one of the programs that the Jamaicans participated in.
Yes, I went to Panama in 1940. Panama Canal worked for the United States government in Panama Canal for 4 years. Repatriated from there back to Jamaica for 2 weeks in 1944, April. And we have performed so many good things over there that the government requests back to the United States. So we came in 1944 under the War Food Administration. After the war was over in 1945, then they turned us over to the Shade Growing Association. And we worked there for all these years until 1950. The program was eliminated. Some of us remain in different areas. Some go back home to Jamaica, and some get married, and we all gather together here and as one people.
The SS Washington.
The SS Washington? And how many days it took you?
That was a luxury liner. It took 2 days out of Kingston, because we left there on the well, not the date, but we left there in the afternoon of one day, late afternoon, and we reached Miami on the morning of the third day. There was 2 days sailing. It's a boat that possibly did well on the information that I had gleaned from some of the crew. It did about 14 knots, 14 to 17 knots.
And after you left Miami, you came to Connecticut?
Yeah.
And
but we were billeted in Miami for about 4 days, waiting on transportation.
And what location did they put you in?
There was a regular soldiers barrack, the area where we were. We were west of Miami at a place called Gould.
And you came to Connecticut in train?
Came in the
And where did you first go when you came to Connecticut?
Where we went? When the train got to Connecticut, we were told to go to different sections wherever we chose. There were sections of. This was not a situation where you had to do a certain thing. It was your choice, and not a choice by demand. They had no demand. You just, wherever your mind told you, as the saying goes, you could go wherever you wanted.
In 1945, on the Farmers contract, Farmers United States contract, I came in May, and it was during the war. At that time, we sailed from Kingston, Jamaica on the SS George Simmons. The ship was not equipped to carry all the passengers that it had on. I'm not sure now how many of us were on there, but it was not equipped to carry all the passengers that were on there, and we were short of food, short of drinking water, and the men were very uncomfortable. We landed at Port Everglades. It took at least 2 days or so from Jamaica to Port Everglades. When we got there, we went to a camp. I'm trying to think of the name of that camp now. Camp Murphy. We went to Camp Murphy, which was a soldiers' holdover camp. At Camp Murphy, here again, they were not equipped for so many men, so shortage of food again, and accommodation was scarce. However, we toughed it out, so to speak, and we made it there, and I spent about 4 or 5 days there. First of all, when we landed, they gave us $5 because it was the United States law. If you should be caught on the street with $5 in your pocket, you could be arrested under the vagrancy law. We left Camp Murphy by train and came up to Connecticut. We didn't know where we were going. All we know was, well, the farmers says come on up to Connecticut, and we got on the train and we boarded the train and we came up to where they took us. Let me put it that way. After a long while, I found out that there was a railroad station, a side station near Morgan Street there, and that's where we landed.
One of the things I found, and that's just because of research in the various newspapers, this farm, the camps were varied. You had newer camps, you had older camps. You had the restrictions were more severe in some and less severe in others. They had more opportunities in some and less opportunities in others. And so some of the camps were poor conditions. There was so much more detail that's not in this book, which I ran into when the inspectors came from the island and actually went to inspect the farm, and some of the conditions were deplorable. However, there were some brand new dorms that were built, and those had modern facilities, but they had outhouses that they had to use for the bathroom. They had broken equipment inside the camps itself. Some of the camps were poor condition.
Yes, it's a lot of hard work. A lot of West Indian really never work hard in Jamaica in their lifetime. They don't know what the hell it is, but they came out, they fit right in and work. That's what kept us here so long in the country, of the hard work that they produce. They really work. They're really hard working.
Did you guys manage to save money?
It's not to save hardly. It was getting tense. A lot of people don't know I was driving truck 55 cents an hour. At that time, a lot of people get 25 cents an hour them days, 50 cents an hour them days. You know, the people today, the kids today don't know what happened. They had to learn something, get some history and learn what life is all about. And we try to make it on that type of money.
And you did.
And we did. Yeah. Work, do not kill no one. Honesty, work and be honest is the best policy in life that I can give to young people today. You got to work honestly, put your work to good use and respect, and it will follow you all the days of your life.
I don't think there was slave labor on the farm because it was government regulated. How could it be slave labor? You know, they asked us to work overtime, and they will let you work as many hours as possible as you want to work.
How much are you making an hour?
Oh gosh, don't ask that. 65 cents an hour. 65 cents an hour in 1945. Then it went up to 70 cents. Then it went up to 75 cents. When I left the farm, I was probably getting 85 cents an hour.
Did you save any money?
Yes, we saved money from that. That's the thing about it. From that little money, we were able to buy our nice clothes. We bought cars. And we saved money. You know, of course, there was the money that the government would send home to Jamaica for us, $1 a day from whatever you earn. They would.
Farming tobacco is hard work.
How many days a week?
Sometimes we work 7 days a week. And the money was not big. When I came here, the hourly wage for the migrant worker in this area was 50 cents. 50 cents an hour. That they gave us 5 cents an hour extra. My employer was a German American, but I don't know how long he has been here because, you know, just by his name and what conversations I had with him, I learned that much.
He treated you well, you guys well?
Oh yes, we were treated well.
And people tend to talk now about the tension between the West Indians and the Americans. However, in those days, the Americans really opened the doors for these men. They invited them home to Sunday dinners. They would take them to transportation. The women were extremely receptive to them.
Because there was no West Indian women here?
There were no West Indian women here, and even the married women, the women who were married, invited them into their homes and would take groups of them to their homes. And, you know, the men said that the Americans here, they really opened their arms to them and you know, assisted them in whichever way they could.
Yeah.
Places operated by Black Americans that we patronized also, and we had a tremendous rapport with the Black Americans because we established friendships with them and we worked alongside them, both male and female, in the different areas of employment.
The people who really accepted us and gave us a warm and nice time were the Black Americans, the Southern Americans, who came up from the South to work at tobacco also. Oh, they invited us down to their houses in Hartford and gave us Sunday dinners. I remember that. Oh yeah, and they really treated us nice. And of course, they are the ones that caused me to stay here for more than a year or more than the 6 months that we were contracted for.
We treat the Black Americans treat us right. We are the people that we was close together. We make ourselves known who we are, and respect us, and we get along together beautiful. They didn't show us any discrimination from the Black American at all. We get along beautiful, like one people after they get to know who we are.
Right in Florida, most of the southern states, that's where they experienced most of the difficult times. But I don't think they were prepared for it. They dealt with the conditions as best as they could. They didn't focus on it. If they wanted socialization, they felt that they were entitled to socialization. So when they went out in a bus to go, for example, in the book, one of the men talked about going to the bar and wanting to have drinks, and the bartender, after the men left, would break all the glasses because they didn't want to have to wash those glasses. However, when the men found out what was happening, they decided to go to the bars in groups. And so after a while, when the bartender realized that they were breaking so many glasses, they decided that it didn't make sense. And that's one of the ways that they helped to sort of break down the barriers. They did it in not a violent way. They were able to,
Just demanded their rights.
right. They used a sense of community actually to get into the community. That's pretty much how they dealt with racism at that time.
And when we at a place, we go to bar and they didn't want to upset us. We get in there and we tell them if they don't serve us, we call the state police. State police would come and tell them they either serve us or close it down. If they do serve us, they take the glass and break them up. We drink as long as we can and let them break them up and laugh. And get out and we get the hell out of there and go. It was a joke to us, really. Because we never experienced anything like that before in our life, and we realized the discrimination here was just like the South of here. People would laugh and talk with you, but there was the same type of people with us, But we tried to get along with everybody, and here we are, still there.
They look down on you, and they're quick to call you boy, and you're never a man with them. Oh boy, somebody said. You're never a man with them as long as you're a black person. They call you boy. The first discrimination entanglement that I encountered was when I was driving the bus. I had a guy on the bus.
And that's in the 60s.
That was, yes, in the 60s. I had a guy, I was driving the Middletown bus. And of course he was half crazy because he lived at the institution down in Middletown. And he called me a nigger. He says, "Nigger, open the door." And we had a little entanglement there. We called the police and he was arrested and all that kind of thing.
The everyday contact with townspeople, whoever they might be, there was no problem. Where we really had problems, social problems, was in the Hartford area. There were certain theaters that blacks could not go into at the time when I was here. There were certain restaurants that blacks were not accommodated in at the time when I came here. And certain other places too. When we were dressed up, as we take pride in doing, we would go into the city and try to patronize a restaurant or bar, and there were several that we were refused service. And after a while, we decided that we would have to come to some understanding, not realizing that it was the same Jim Crow situation that obtained in Florida, which we had some experience of it in Florida when we landed.
Oh, America has been real good to these men. These men, after they left the farm, they have set themselves up in this community. Some of them returned to the island. Those that remained here, they have become rightful citizens. They have set up their families. They have started businesses in the areas. They have started the West Indian Social Club, and since then they have started several other social organizations, the lodges, the churches. There are several churches, and now we have a West Indian school. We have just a proliferation of activities going on in this area. It's just been a vibrant culture, and I think America has been real good to the West Indians that have come here.
And we fit in with the American type of food. The old-time American practically cook like West Indian, Jamaica anyway.
The Southerners.
Southerners, they cook good. They get a lot of color green and different things like that, big things like that. So we fit in. You go to a new country, you fit with the country what they got to offer you, and be satisfied until you can do better. And that's what we did.
How did the local women treat you?
The local women treat us very, very good. Very good. I have a lot of friends after. Very good people. I didn't miss my home because at that time was no West Indian women here in Hartford. It was we men. And it was in the late 50s, I think one West Indian couple came into Hartford. She was a nurse and worked at Bacook Hospital. And a little after another, one couple came. And those also the people until things changed that the government started a program here that people could bring in West Indian people to work. And those are where migrate a lot of West Indian women in Hartford, as far as I know, Connecticut, as far as I know. Here, but it was all American people women we have to deal with. There was no West Indian women here. And we get along fine.
So you guys, for social life, what did you guys do for social life?
Got a lot of dance and go to the different clubs. Elf Club, we used to do steco scene. We don't have drinks. It's pay 50 cents a shot for drinks. In them days, you know, I met a lot of friends through there, and we get on fine. We get on fine.
So it's been a good life.
It's been a big good life. A lot of people, I don't think a lot of people in the South, I understand some of my brothers in the South go through a lot of hell cutting cane and discrimination down there, and they perform down there and change the system. They use the same tactics that we use up here and change the system. Until now, we don't know the difference. Most of them don't know the difference.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Barnett.
You're welcome. At any time you need to get some more,
you're free and willing.
You're free and willing to give it up. And life is very good to me so far in this country.
And America has been good.
Yeah, very good to me. I appreciate everything that's happened to me, one way or the other. Thank God I got a lot of my families here. They are doing fine.
I think the opportunity that was given to me was great. I really took advantage of it, and I am glad of what I did, and I made a living from it, and it was great. This is a great country, a very, very beautiful country for anyone who wants to make a living.
So America's been good to you?
America has been beautiful to me, honest. Very, very, very good.
Anyway, Crossroads developed, and it became one of the leading tropical food stores in the area. Known far and wide, people would come from surrounding towns to pick up their supplies. I was so successful with in the early stages, of course I still am, because it still operates, that I would make trips to New York, 3 trips a week to procure tropical foods.
So you service all West Indians in the area then?
Yes. My clientele was and still is a high percentage of Caribbean people. I don't know whether we use it for the they handle Caribbean or West India. Yeah. And it continues like that up to today. America has been good to me. God bless America. It's a great day when I came here, and I have had what many, many people wish for, and it is very, very satisfying.
Done.